Hi, welcome to my channel. Today, as the first video of my channel, I want to talk about myopia, or short-sightedness. This will be the first in a series of videos, which will cover many other diseases, so-called, of civilization. So, among these will be diabetes, both types, obesity, postural problems, sarcopenia or weakness, muscle wasting. All these types of diseases that did not exist until quite recently. And quite recently might mean 200 years, it might mean 2000 years, but none of them existed in the Paleolithic times. So, to start off, myopia. What is it and what can you do about it? So the common refrain in our culture is that myopia is a sort of irreversible disease that hits some people because of genetics, and hits some harder, some less, some escape it altogether, but it's considered a chronic disease that we can't really prevent and we can't cure. So I labored under this illusion for a long time. I got my first glasses when I was 7 years old, and immediately I was given -2 diopters, which is quite a lot for the first pair, but as I will discuss later, optometrists are not very conscientious about these things. So ever since I was 7, when I got the glasses, till I was 25, 24, so a couple of years ago, I belabored under this impression that my myopia was a sort of curse that just happened to me, unfortunately, but I would just have to live with it. But for various reasons that I will discuss perhaps in later videos, my eyesight and my eye health in general worsened at some point to such a degree that I had to think of some remedy for this. So I was suffering from very dry eyes all the time. I was getting eye floaters, which are not pleasant and don't go away, by the way. And I started Googling desperately to find some kind of solution. So the first thing I found was Flux, the program that you use to turn the color blue down on your screen. So if you're at the computer at night, at least it's not blue light flooding into your eyes. So this helped a bit, but it did not solve my problem at all. But then I had the great fortune of stumbling across this guy called Jake Steiner, who has his website endmyopia.org. And this was the very first time somebody presented a coherent program online to reduce your myopia. So everybody else is like, you might control your eyesight worsening or whatever. This guy was saying you can reverse it. So I was extremely skeptical, but I was also desperate, and I went for it. So Jake's program is not very difficult to understand. Once you get rid of the cultural conditioning, that's hard. But the program itself is very easy. It's ridiculously simple. So you have to only understand two things. Firstly, you have to understand how myopia comes about at first. What happens is, a young kid usually starts to abuse either screens or reading too much or doing something that's making him do close-up with his eyes all the time. So you've got some kind of iPad or a book that's like this, with small kids especially, it's very close sometimes. And if the parents allow the kid to do this, as my parents allowed me to do, that child will get what is called pseudomyopia. So pseudomyopia is a condition where the focusing muscles in the eye, which contract when you look closer, stay in this contracted state for a very long time and get a spasm. So basically it's like a cramp, like a muscle cramp. And as a result, when you then try to look to the distance, it will be foggy, it will be blurry. So the normal thing to do in this situation, if people understood the biology, would be to go outside, walk around for a couple of hours, and slowly the spasm will work off. But since people don't understand eye biology, what they do is they go to the optometrist, who is always very friendly and cooperative, and who will, with no questions asked, prescribe you, well, let's say minus 0.5 diopters, minus, if you're lucky, minus 0.25, so a quarter of a diopter. But if you're extremely unlucky, like I was, you will get minus 2. So now this state that was temporary, pseudomyopia, is cemented into place by these nice things. And this becomes a default state. So now you have something in front of your eyes that refracts light differently than is normal, and it changes the point in your eyeball where the focal point is. It moves it backwards, behind your retina, actually. So now the visual system has to compensate for this weird new lens that's in front of the eyes. And it will compensate very efficiently. And the eye will actually start to grow into the direction where the new focal point is. Now, this is not a good thing, because once this process is complete, once the eye and the visual system have adjusted, and you don't change your habits, which nobody does, you will again get this pseudomyopic spasm. Then you will go back to the optometrist, say, hey, what the hell? I just got glasses, now I need new glasses. They will say, yeah, unfortunately you will have to get new ones. And again, the prescription will be intensified. So this lovely process goes on and on and on. And in my case, it went from -2 to -7. And actually even more, because in my right eye, I was overprescribed. So my right eye was really fucked up. And I used to sort of like ignore this problem until it got really bad, because what I did was I wore contact lenses all the time, and contact lenses help you ignore being myopic because they give you the illusion of normality, because it's as if you see everything just as normal. You easily forget that you have this disability. So as I started with Jake's program, I first went out for walks, and I tried to focus, like he teaches, on distant car number plates and distant. I had a great TV tower, so I could focus on the tower, and I tried to bring this blurry image into sharp focus. And at first, this caused my eyes to water horribly. And it was clear that they were being forced to do something they didn't have to do for a very long time. But then gradually they adjusted, and I found, to my great surprise, very pleasant surprise, that you can improve your eyesight. Now, going outside for these walks is only one part of it. The second part is you have to get a totally different pair of glasses for doing close-up work. So you have to understand that the glasses you use to look 10 kilometers away are not the same glasses you use to look 1 meter away. And this will be intuitively obvious, I think, to some people, once you just allow the idea to enter your mind. And it's actually quite mathematically easy. If, for instance, you have -2 eyes, so that means you can only see, which is it now, half a meter without your glasses. Then, if you want to look at a book that's only half a meter away, you don't need glasses. You only need glasses for distance. So all of this is quite easily calculable if you have a basic grasp elementary school mathematics. Nothing difficult. So, how is it possible that in our society this is not known? I mean, we have our own little subculture, about 10,000 people, maybe even more, who know about this, who practice it. Some have achieved really impressive gains. Personally, I have reduced by 1.25 diopters, which is considered impossible by official standards. So how is it possible that nobody knows about this apparently, except a select minority? Well, that's the way the human mind works. And in the next few videos, I will discuss several other topics similar to this one. Similar diseases where it's trivially easy to cure them, but the culture of programming makes people invisible to that. So I will post a link to Jake's website in the description. I will just shill for him totally, since I have to emphasize, I have been doing this for 2 years and I haven't paid him anything. So he has some people who pay him, rich people. I'm a poor Estonian guy, I have no money, so I don't pay, but the least I can do is make these kinds of videos. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next videos.